at 7 p.m. Eastern and find out why Rob is the hottest person in cable news. Even President Trump is watching, and he says Newsmax is terrific. Reuters Institute reports that Newsmax is now one of the top news brands in America. Find out why. Just check out Newsmax on your cable system. Get Rob Schmidt with Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and much more. Download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone or home TV to start watching. It takes just seconds. With Newsmax Plus, you can watch our great shows anytime. Go to newsmaxplus.com and start your free trial. That's newsmaxplus.com. Make the switch to Newsmax.
Hey, welcome into Friday show. Sorry, I was a little distracted. Intro music is playing, and we're just about ready to get underway. So thanks for joining us, and here we go. Well, we've speculated as to whether there's any life left in the Democratic Party. If there's one thing I learned from fishing as a kid, it is that when you hook a fish, it fights hard to stay alive. Once you pull it out of the water, it flips and flops around. And the way that Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader, is flip-flopping, I guess there is some life left in the Democratic Party, but they're not getting away because they've swallowed the hook and they are trapped as Donald Trump and the Republicans have them coming, going this way, that way. It'll be interesting to say today if 6 more Democrats follow the lead of Chuck Schumer. I guess since he's the Senate Majority Leader, he'll be able to bring someone besides John Fetterman along with him and allow the federal government not to shut down as of midnight tonight. But early yesterday, Chuck Schumer was not going to vote for the continuing resolution that will keep the government open for another 6 months. Here is what the Senate Majority Leader said yesterday. Sounded pretty definitive, subject to change. Hold on, it's there. Trust me, it's there. Chuck just doesn't want me to play it because it makes him sound like a buffoon. But here's what he said early yesterday.
Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass. We should vote on that.
Our caucus is unified. Well, that's odd, because then after he said that, his caucus, Democrats in the Senate, went to lunch together in the same room. And there was screaming heard coming from inside the room. The voice most people thought was that of New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, who was complaining about the downside of failing to greenlight the continual operation of government. What is the downside? Well, there are several. Number one, Democrats would get blamed for the shutdown because if House Republicans, all but one of them, voted to continue funding the government, then clearly the shutdown would be on Democrats. But the bigger drawback came out the more Democrats talked about the situation and prompted Chuck Schumer to go back on the floor of the U.S. Senate last night and explain why he was flip-flopping around, furiously fighting to get out of a situation that the Democrats cannot eradicate themselves from.
Either proceed with the bill before us or risk Donald Trump throwing America into the chaos of a shutdown. This, in my view, is no choice at all. While the CR bill is very bad,
very bad,
the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse.
The bill's very bad, but we're going to vote for it because the damage could be much, much worse. How could the damage be much worse? Well, if the government shuts down, then we see, or at least get a clearer picture of seeing, who's really essential, what services are absolutely necessary, and what portions of America continue to run just fine. This would be a Doge dream to shut everything down. They're howling on the Democratic side of the aisle and the federal unions and everywhere else, they're howling every time Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Doge pair an agency by what, up to 50%? The Department of Education. Oh, this is going to deny us essential services, and people are going to be hurt, and veterans, and this and that and the other. But if the whole shebang shuts down and things seem to operate okay, except for maybe over here we got an issue and maybe over there we got an issue, Democrats are playing into Donald Trump's hand. This is what is known in chess as checkmate. And it has gloriously divided the Democrats in the House and in the Senate, as some Democratic senators realize this will land on us. It will land heavily on us. But the people in the House, and it's inarguable that the House Democrats are more unhinged than Senate Democrats. They're all unhinged. They all believe that men can be women. They all think it's perfectly fine for men to play women's sports and invade girls' spaces in high schools. They all think it's perfectly fine to butcher an infant in the womb. So they're all unhinged. But over in the House, you've got a lunatic fringe. AOC, Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, the dude, Tim McBride, masquerading as a woman, Sarah McBride. I mean, they're really unhinged. Trump sounded like he was almost delighting in this yesterday when he talked about how boxed in the Democrats are.
If there's a shutdown, even the Democrats admit it'll be their fault. And I'm hearing a lot of Democrats are going to vote for it, and I hope they do.
Well, we won't know until this afternoon, until they take the vote. Because, of course, in the Senate, this is how government, you wonder why government is inefficient? Because, as I've said before, like 3 times this week, they have to vote on whether they're going to take a vote. They don't vote on, do we want to pass this or do we not want to pass this budget? No, they have to vote on whether they're going to vote on the budget. And in order to approve the vote on the budget, they have to have, see if this makes any sense to you. It doesn't to me. They have to have 60 votes to decide that they will have a vote. And then, here's a quiz. Then how many votes do they have to pass the budget? Don't say 60. They only need 50. You got to have 60 to vote. Wouldn't you think you'd need like more to pass it than to have the vote? I mean, pretty much democracy must be staunchly guarded at all costs, right? Isn't that what we've been told by the Democrats? That Donald Trump's re-election to the White House was an affront to democracy? Far be it from Democrats to stand against democracy. Certainly you would not oppose voting. I mean, that's what they're all about, right? No, they're all about power. So you need 60 votes to have a vote. And then once you agree to have a vote, you can vote to have the vote, and then you can vote against the budget. And that's what the Democrats will do, because there's only 47 of them in the Senate. There's 53 Republicans. Rand Paul's going to join with the Democrats. So the final vote on the budget will be 52 to 48. I don't know. Maybe Fetterman will stick with voting yes. He might. He could surprise me. But this whole scenario really steams Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Here she is on how egregious it is that Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats appear to be on the verge of folding and allowing a vote on keeping the government open.
We need to make sure that we're organizing people and that engaged people are raising their voices, and that Senate Democrats hear loud and clear what the will is here. We have time to correct course on this decision.
Actually, you really don't have time. You are caught in a maze of your own making. The American people backed Donald Trump in the election. They gave control of the U.S. Senate to Democrats. Remember, to Republicans rather. Democrats, they had it because they had the White House. It was 50 to 50. We gained 3 seats in the Senate. Thankfully, one of those seats was Bernie Moreno's seats. And Sherrod Brown is no longer in the Senate. So Ohio now has 2 Republican senators. That's the way it should be. Eventually, we'll get it corrected in other states like Georgia, where they have 2 Democrats, and Arizona, where they have 2 Democrats, both of which voted for Trump in this election. So this afternoon, we're going to get the government, and the Democrats, of course, wanted to continue this for only 30 days. They want to keep headlines percolating that, oh, chaos is reigning, tariffs and this and that and the other. Donald Trump is a chaos agent. Not really. The two inflation metrics that came out this week show that inflation was down in February. Now, I'm not going to gloat over that because it really didn't have anything to do, or have any impact rather, from the tariffs. I think it's possible that inflation might tick up in March. I think that Trump insisting on his tariff strategy is going to introduce some headwinds into the markets. We'll talk with Josh Pick about that today on the Aptus Retirement Blueprint radio show. I know the midterms are coming in 2026. I know that the economy would be the thing that could cause widespread Republican losses in the House, and then we could be in a situation where Trump's agenda would be pretty much stopped if we don't strengthen our tenuous Republican hold in the House. We're not going to lose the Senate in the midterms. In fact, I think with Gene Shaheen's retirement the other day, with the retirement of, I think it's Mike Rogers in Michigan. Maybe it's not Mike Rogers. It's another Michigan senator, a Democrat who's not going to run. I think there's a chance that the Republicans could strengthen their hold in the U.S. Senate. But Trump is committed to the tariffs, and right now Trump has the numbers where he can dominate the Democrats. We've seen evidence of that in the last 2 days, where Schumer was first like, oh no, we're never approving this. And then realizing, DOJ could get out its sledgehammer. Yeah, okay, we'll approve it.
Sun for this afternoon, breezy, high 78. For tonight, clouds and breezy, mild to thunderstorm toward dawn, low 58. Windy Saturday, clouds windy and warm. A shower and thunderstorm could bring some hail and damaging wind, a high 75. For Sunday, windy, cool showers, clouds in the morning. It'll be partly sunny by the afternoon. High on Sunday, 61.
This is my
sunny
phone.
Monday,
Okay.
high 52. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. Begin.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out, because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
She's gone from reporting on the sidelines to making sense of the headlines. It's the Michelle Tafoya podcast.
The media is trying to lampoon this group. Yes, they are. They're calling them a bunch of 19-year-olds in hoodies. People go to war as soon as they're 18. You're okay with that. But a 19-year-old genius trying to help the Treasury save money? Oh, God forbid.
Subscribe to the Michelle Tafoya podcast today on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544.
If you're a business owner and a listener to this station, you might not realize that the conservative news and talk content that you enjoy is advertiser supported. Our loyal audience loves to do business with the advertisers who make our programming possible. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some advertisers who avoid us because they don't like what we do here. And that's okay, because our listeners are eager to support advertisers who support our conservative programming. Join the successful companies who reach customers who care about this programming. Become a part of making a difference in the lives of people who listen and who are passionate about supporting the great family of advertisers who are part of this station. It's truly a perfect match for you and for them.
To learn how to reach our audience with your business's message and support this station, contact Carolyn Cassidy at 614-318-0401 or click on the Advertise With Us banner at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
MyPillow.com makes it easy for you to order great sleep products and other products as well. They're extending their mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new items. For example, you can save $40 on the new spring MyPillow bed sheets. Those come in any size and in any color. Save 30% on the brand new My Crosses. They're designed exactly like the one that Mike Lindell will. Well, not exactly like it. If you're a woman, you don't want to wear a cross quite as big as the one that Mike sports. You want the chain to be a little bit smaller. They accommodate you at MyPillow.com because they have both men's and women's styles. You can get the 6-piece bath or kitchen towel sets for only $29.98. Now, these quantities are limited, and they're going to go quick. So make sure you get to the head of the line by going to MyPillow.com and using my promo code Bruce to get these low prices. Also, the standard MyPillow is still $14.98, and you get free shipping on orders of $75 or more. So check it all out, MyPillow.com. Use my promo code Bruce, MyPillow.com. Promo code Bruce. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, senator from South Dakota, is reveling in the flip-flop of Chuck Schumer, who initially yesterday said, no, never going to, in the Senate, give them the 60 votes they need to bring to the floor of the Senate for consideration in a vote the resolution passed by the House to keep the government operating for the next 6 months. No, we're going to shut her all down. And then they had lunch, and the Democrats started screaming at each other. They could be heard screaming at each other outside the door. And then Chuck Schumer went back out and said, we don't like the bill. We don't like the $13 billion in cuts. We don't like the funding for the border wall. But we like giving Donald Trump and Elon Musk even more space to cut even more government programs, even less. And so, okay, I'm going to vote for it. Now, right now on the record, only John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, and Chuck Schumer of New York are committed to voting. We need 6 more Democrats to allow a vote. Kirsten Gillibrand of New York will vote yes. She was the one screaming who people heard yesterday. Who else? We don't know. Doesn't really matter. But we'll see this afternoon if, in fact, that vote happens. Here's John Thune kind of reveling in the fact that, elections have consequences.
In his case, what he's hearing is the far left, which has a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome. And they're making a lot of noise out there, but they don't represent the heart of the country. The middle of this country, the middle of this electorate wants us to get things done, wants the president to be successful, wants us to make government smaller and more efficient and to modernize it through technology. And that's what this is all about. But you have to have the government funded in order to do that. So the left can make a lot of noise, but they're speaking to a very small audience out there. And the people in this country who get up and go to work every day want to see the president and those of us who are here in Congress working together as a team to make a difference for their betterment. And that's what, in the end, funding the government is a part of that. And the Democrats, as I said, left us with this mess from last year. And so we are doing everything we can to clean it up so we can start new on the president's agenda for this next year. But we've got to get this out of the way first.
Now, as I listen to John Thune talking about Democrats not listening to the middle of the country, and the left is making a lot of noise, speaking to small audiences, I thought, where that is also true? Not just in the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House. You know where else that's true? That's true right here in the state of Ohio, where Ohio Democrats are facing the disadvantage in the Ohio General Assembly of supermajorities in both the Ohio House and the Ohio Senate. And why is that? Because their radical views on everything from education, transgenderism, LGBTQ plus issues, fighting parents' rights, are out of step with mainstream Ohioans, with rural Ohioans, which is why Ohio Democrats are also flailing. You've heard before the news coverage, Democrats don't have a message. Well, Democrats actually nationally have a message. We hate Trump. Anything Trump's for, we're against. That's their message. It's not a good message, but they have a message. What's the message of Ohio Democrats? Like, dude, Mike DeWine is not Donald Trump. Like, Mike DeWine doesn't really cast a bold, robust vision for the state of Ohio. Yet, we're in a situation in the state of Ohio where every statewide office is held by a Republican. And it's been held by a Republican for the last 20 years. In fact, we're just in a situation now where the guys who are elected to high office in the state of Ohio just pretty much like serve as long as they can, and then they trade offices. Like right now, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost is running for governor. I think he'll eventually drop out because Vivek Ramaswamy is going to win the Republican primary. Keith Faber, who's the auditor, is running for Yost's job as Attorney General because Faber served 2 terms. Frank LaRose, who's a 2-term Secretary of State, term limited, blocked. LaRose is running for Faber's job as auditor. And Robert Sprague, who served or is serving his 2nd term as treasurer, is running for LaRose's job as Secretary of State. So it's just like, as our friend Matt Mayer of Opportunity Ohio calls them, the musical chairs men. Meanwhile, the Democrats are sitting around, sucking on their thumb, waiting to see what Sherrod Brown is going to do. Sherrod Brown, who served 3 terms in the U.S. Senate? Isn't Sherrod Brown? Let me check his age. Is he 72 years old? I think Sherrod Brown is born in 1952. Let's find out the exact birthday so we get this right. January 3rd. No, that's when he served as a Senate. Where's his birthday? Come on, Wikipedia. Come through for me, man. Preceded, succeeded. They used to list the guy. Oh, here it is. November 9th, 1952. Okay, so he's 72 right now. He's 72. He would be running for, pick your poison, governor. Maybe he'll run against John Husted. Maybe 3's not enough Senate terms for Sherrod Brown. I want to see Sherrod Brown try to run against John Husted at age 74 and say, no, forget about Joe Biden at age 78, how infirm and senile he was. I'll be just fine at age 80. I won't be like Dianne Feinstein. I won't be like Nancy Pelosi. I'll be just fine. Or can you see Sherrod Brown running for governor at 74? I can't. Tim Ryan I could see, but although Tim Ryan probably sees the writing on the wall, he's probably making lots of coin as a political consultant right now. But the Democrats don't have any plan. They just don't. They're a victim of their own crazy ideas. And eventually, it's a little bit, their ideas are a little bit like going financially bankrupt. They're morally bankrupt. And it turns out in politics, moral bankruptcy works the same way as financial bankruptcy. You know how they say financial bankruptcy comes on you slowly and then all at once? There's a day where you're like, uh-oh, I can't keep the creditors away anymore. There's a day, and it happened on November the 5th, and if the Democrats don't depart from their lunatic wokeism, anti-Trump, blah, 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 it's going to force them to go even more irrelevant in future elections because the people of the state of Ohio, the people of the United States of America, are not morally bankrupt. Democrats are morally bankrupt. Slowly and then all at once. What do you mean? Parents have the right to control their own kids. Men can't be women. Oh, that's so wrong. It's an 80-20 issue, and they're siding with the 20.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason.
Democrat opposition to a Republican spending bill to fund the government through September is crumbling. A vote on the bill to avoid a partial government shutdown is due today ahead of a midnight deadline. President Trump's attempt to cut the size and the cost of government is being blocked by two federal judges, one in Baltimore, the other in San Francisco. The administration vows to appeal the rulings that block the firings of thousands of federal employees. President Trump paying a visit today to once hostile territory, stopping by the Department of Justice, which is now under new management. Columbia University says it has expelled or suspended some students who took over a campus building during anti-Israel protests last spring. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 502 points, the NASDAQ 364 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Charlie Kirk here. I've been thinking, why does it feel like losing weight is harder than ever before? Mixed messages, bad diets, and quick fix solutions. Many people are left stuck and exhausted trying to fight a battle they can't seem to win. If you feel this way, you're not alone. I used to feel that way too. But let me tell you, it's not your fault. Your body is working against you, and delaying action only makes it harder.
Discipline. It's all it takes, Charlie.
And called PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition and lost 40 pounds. I feel great and have kept it off. If you're ready to make a change for life, call 855-696-2020. That is 855-696-2020 to schedule your weight loss consultation. The first 11 callers who mention healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Call 855-696-2020 and mention the word healthy. Visit them at myphdweightloss.com. That is myphdweightloss.com. It works, everybody. Check it out at myphdweightloss.
He's consistently ranked by industry trades as one of the country's top radio morning hosts. He's Chris DeGaulle, and you can hear him weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hi, Mike Gallagher here, hoping you'll join me on the Patriots Alaska cruise this summer, a once-in-a-lifetime trip where patriotism and luxury meet. Picture this, you cruising through Alaska's stunning wilderness on a first-class luxury ship surrounded by breathtaking glaciers and majestic mountains. Joining us will be Larry Elder, Jennifer Horn, Joe Piscopo, but that's just the beginning. We sail August 16th through the 23rd through the last frontier. On board, you'll enjoy thought-provoking talks, exclusive events, and unforgettable memories with fellow patriots who share your conservative values. Text the keyword travel to 94878 to reserve your stateroom today. Text travel to 94878. This is more than just a cruise. It's a chance to engage with some of the most respected voices in conservative America. I'll take a little credit for that. I hope I'm in that category and explore one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. Space is limited. Text travel to 94878. That's travel to 94878. I'll see you on board where patriotism, adventure, and luxury all come together.
Winter is here, and if your home's heating system is on its last leg, don't wait any longer to replace that tired old furnace. Get a brand new Goodman furnace from Temperature Pro for just $1,900 through the Discount Shopping Club. Regular price is $3,800. Temperature Pro is a leader in both commercial and residential HVAC systems. And this one's guaranteed to go quicker, so check out this great deal at 989theanswer.com.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
I had the distinct pleasure last night of being able to address a local group of Lions Club members, and a couple of them approached me and asked me about the big April 25th event at Der Dutchman in Plain City regarding Larry Elder's trip east. Yes, he's coming all the way from South Central LA. He says he's got a country to save, so he doesn't have a state to save, California. That's going to require a lot of attention, which Larry Elder tried to do. When he ran for governor, they foolishly didn't elect him. But we've elected to have Larry Elder come here and speak directly to you from the stage at Der Dutchman on April the 25th. I'll be there with him. Jack Windsor, host of the Windsor Report, will be there with him. And yes, the price of your ticket includes a full Der Dutchman buffet. Now here, let's get real. You want to come? Sounds great. Sounds like a great night. But you think, April 25th, long time off. I got plenty of time to buy tickets. Maybe not. Way more than half the tickets are already gone. If I were you, I'd go buy them today. If you want to be there, we'd love to have you. April 25th, Der Dutchman Restaurant in Plain City, a night with Larry Elder. 3 o'clock today, Donald Trump will be where he previously would never have been welcomed. He'll be at the Department of Justice, speaking to Department of Justice employees, outlining his vision for the Department of Justice, which I'm going to presume does not include filing 94 federal indictments against him and arresting him in 4 different jurisdictions. No, that was the previous Department of Non-Justice. Here is Donald Trump on what he will tell the FBI, DOJ, CIA, and other people at the Department of Justice.
All I'm going to do is set out my vision. It's going to be their vision, really, but it's my ideas. And basically, we don't want to have crime in the streets. We don't want to have people pushed into subways and killed. We want to have justice, and we want to have safety in our cities as well as our communities. And we'll be talking about immigration. We'll be talking about a lot of things.
Yes, Donald Trump always talks about a lot of things. If there's one epitaph for Donald Trump, it is he says a lot of things. Things that are not on prompter. And we'll hear today, I'm sure, a recount of how egregious the lawfare against him was, and it was. Pam Bondi, Attorney General appointed by Donald Trump, approved by the U.S. Senate, on her view of Donald Trump coming right to their front door to speak directly to the people at the Department of Justice.
President Trump's mission was very clear. His directive was make America safe again. That's what we're going to do. No more weaponization. We're going to go back to fighting basic crime, getting these cartels out of our country by securing our borders, prosecuting the worst of the worst, seizing the drugs, which is what President Trump has directed us to do since the second he's been in office.
Border is secure. Border numbers are down at their lowest levels in 25 years. He's done a phenomenal job on the border. And he did not need, as he said, in a mic drop moment in his joint address to Congress, did not need legislation, just needed a new president. Now, today is a sad day for the people of Logan County. I remember this day well. 1 year ago today, the EF3 tornado devastated the Indian Lake community, killed 3 people, tore up a lot of the housing on the north side of the village of what was Lakeview, I believe. Lakeview or Russell's Point, I believe it was Lakeview. 27 others were injured. They held a ceremony this morning at Indian Lake High School to remember those who died. And a lot of people have gone up there. Samaritan's Purse has done a lot of work up there. And but I drive past that when I go to get my daughter, one of my daughters at college, and you can still see evidence of that tornado and the devastation that it wrought upon Logan County. If you're my age, you of course remember the devastating Xenia tornado. Was that 1970, 1972? And we have severe weather headed our way this weekend. Wind gusts, not tornado-like, but 40 mile an hour winds are forecast for Saturday. Heavy rain, severe storms. That's supposed to hit around 5 o'clock on Saturday. Now, also in the forecast, at least as I read the tea leaves, contentious contract negotiations between the Columbus City Schools Teacher Union, the Columbus Education Association, and the Board of Education in the city. You will recall that it was 2022 when school was about to start, and the teachers decided they would go on strike. And they went on strike for 3 days. Well, now that contract is running out, and they are about ready to re-engage with the Board of Education to try to hammer out a new contract. Now, this comes at a point where the state of Ohio is examining how it funds public schools, and Columbus City Schools is facing a loss of about $45 million in state money. They really like money in the Columbus City school system. They're a big fan of money. They're such a big fan of money, they asked for and somehow received $100 million from Columbus City voters in the last election. But because the state is cutting their funding at this point, there'll be further negotiations, but at this point it's $45 million. Angela Chapman, the superintendent of Columbus City Schools, says they might have to go back to the voters for more. Whew. I suppose they'd probably get it. They have all the political influencers in this town brainwashed that if they continue to spend more money in their schools, they will get better results. When nothing that has happened, no number, no metric, no statistic bears that out. You can go on the website of Keith Faber, Auditor of State, and you can see clearly that Columbus spends among the highest amount per pupil in the state of Ohio, over $16,000, and it's way over. It's like $16,600 per pupil. Where do Columbus City Schools rank in terms of test scores, reading proficiency, math proficiency? 599th in the state of Ohio. They're doing less with more, and they want more, so they can do even less. So my forecast for these contract negotiations is a bunch of whining and crying, led by the head of the Columbus Education Association, John Coniglio. That's why he wants a parent or a community representative present during contract negotiations, because they're going to pick somebody who is an ally of the CEA, and they're going to spout the same "if we only had more" nonsense that they have used to fleece Columbus City voters out of a lot of money without giving them any real appreciable results. They're going to start negotiations on March the 24th. So here's Coniglio's initial plea. He said the schools in Columbus do not belong to those on the school board, at the State House, or in Washington, D.C. They belong to our community. That's why, for the first time ever, we're bringing parents and community members directly to the negotiation table at every bargaining session, using the power of collective bargaining to win the resources our students and educators deserve. I really hate that word. I hate the word deserve. Democrats, and when you're talking about Columbus City Schools, when you're talking about every member of the Columbus Board of Education, every member of City Council, you're always talking about Democrats. They love the word deserve. They hate the word merit. They love the word deserve. And so if they're not getting good scores in math or reading, and they're not, they're below, one of them's below 20%, one of them's below 30%. I forget which is which, but they're way down in reading and math comprehension. Those are deplorable results. And they'll make the same tired argument they've always made. If you just gave us more money so we could hire more teachers, more aides, more assistants, go to more conferences, well, then we deliver better results. Never happens. And no one ever holds them accountable for it. Of course, the union teachers and the school district are not fans of Mike DeWine's new budget that cuts them $45 million. In fact, Superintendent Angela Chapman has termed DeWine's funding formula a betrayal. That's interesting. Cutting money is a betrayal. Not delivering education for students is not a betrayal. You're the superintendent of schools. You got people elected to the school board who are supposed to be about student outcomes. You're not delivering on results. Your teachers aren't delivering on results. I'm an equal opportunity blamer in this. You're all responsible. Everybody's responsible in a district when a district fails. The board's responsible for not holding the administration accountable. The administration's accountable for not getting more out of the teachers, and the teachers are accountable for not investing more and doing their work well for the kids. That's not the case in so many rural districts in the state of Ohio. It is unfortunately the case in almost every metropolitan district in the state of Ohio. And I will say this. This is a spiritual issue. It really is. I know you don't want to hear it, but it is. If you have a district where the preponderance of kids come from one-parent homes or no-parent homes, then your chances of achieving educationally are reduced because you don't have any discipline or expectations or accountability.
This afternoon, behind 78. For tonight, clouds and breezy, mild to thunderstorm toward dawn, low 58. Wind advisory on Saturday, clouds windy and warm. A shower and thunderstorm could bring some hail and damaging wind, a high 75. For Sunday, windy, cooler, showers, clouds in the morning. It'll be partly sunny by the afternoon, high on Sunday 61. Sunny Monday, high 52. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
ProView Remodeling, Ohio's #1 choice in sunroofs, windows, doors, decks, siding, patios, porches, basements, and bathrooms. Call ProView Remodeling today and get 25% off or 60 months, 0 interest. That's right, 60 months, 0 interest. Call or text 7 days a week, 614-756-3140. You win with ProView Remodeling, 614-756-3140. Check us out at ProViewRemodeling.com.
Salem News Channel is America's fastest growing conservative TV network.
It's an absolute crazy day.
Home to the largest lineup of free speech champions anywhere, delivering in-depth insight and unapologetic opinion on today's biggest news stories.
Americans aren't going to put up with this anymore.
S&C brings you the news that matters, told with integrity and clarity. Watch Salem News Channel free 24/7 on your television. Stream now on Samsung TV Plus, channel 1177.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions, and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flop Line with your host Rick Hughes every Sunday morning at 8 here on 98.9 FM, The Answer. The Flop Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flop Line with Rick Hughes, Sunday mornings at 8, right here on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Ever notice your dog slowing down and having health issues and wonder, what can I do to make them better? Well, my friend, add Rough Greens to your dog's food for 90 days, and I guarantee you'll see changes that will amaze you. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, inventor of Rough Greens here, and I invite you to give your pup the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. In the first 30 days, you'll see shinier coats and increased energy. By day 60, your dog will have a stronger immune system, less shedding, improved joint function, all due to the live nutrients that you've added to their diet. And at 90 days, better digestion, reduced inflammation, improved heart health, and you may even have reduced their cancer risk. Fetch your dog a free Jumpstart trial bag today. Go to roughgreens.com, use promo code 90day. That's ruffgreens.com, use promo code 90day. You discover the shipping. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley with great news. Besides the fact that the weather is warming up, MyPillow is excited to announce that they're extending the mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, you can save $40 on the new spring MyPillow bed sheets, any size, any color. Save 30% on their brand new My Crosses, which are designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's styles right here in the USA. You can get the 6-piece bath or kitchen towel sets for only $29.98. Now, the quantities of these 6-piece towel sets are extremely low, so don't hesitate. Order today at MyPillow.com and use my promo code Bruce. And the best-selling standard MyPillow is just $14.98. That's crazy low. So take advantage of the mega sale at MyPillow.com by using my promo code Bruce at checkout. But that's not all. You get free shipping on orders over $75 or more. Make it happen right now. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce. I had the pleasure yesterday of meeting with a first responder who wanted to interact with me about new flooring in their headquarters. Yeah, I can help you residentially. I can help you commercially. If you are someone in charge of a public building, a government entity, or whatever, I absolutely would love to help you with your flooring project. It's a great pleasure getting to meet listeners of the show and helping you solve your flooring issues so we can make your home, your business, or your community space look stunning with commercial carpet, with residential carpet, with luxury vinyl plank flooring. We have our own installers that do a phenomenal job. We get a ton of compliments on them, and we should, because they're really, really good at what they do. We can save you money because we have far less overhead than big box chain stores. So I would love to have the opportunity to interact with you and give you a quote on your project. Go to brucehooley.com and click the flooring tab. brucehooley.com, click flooring. Maybe we'll get to meet, and I'll help you solve your flooring dilemma. brucehooley.com, click flooring. Received an email during the break, Bruce at salemmedia.com, from Ed. Ed says, hey, a couple of weeks ago, you did a segment called Ask the Host. Can we do that again? Sure, why not? Ed asked a question. I'll save it and let you get yours in, and we'll tackle some of those as the program develops and heads into hour number 2. So if you have a question, anything, can be government, can be faith-related, can be personality of the host, if I have one. Hit me with it. Bruce at salemmedia.com, Bruce at salemmedia.com. Now, Governor Mike DeWine, that unforgiving little tyrant, demands that workers for the state of Ohio be back in the office Monday, March 17th. And a lot of people don't like it. According to the WSYX Channel 6 website, thousands, I love how this is written, thousands of Central Ohio employees face the reality of returning to their offices after working remotely for years due to the pandemic. That would be 5 years. It was 5 years ago right now when we lost our minds and allowed fear-mongering to reorder how we lived our lives. And it's astounding to me that we are 5 years past that date. And there are still people who became so accustomed to working at home that they now are outraged that they have to actually go back to work. Like, let me clue you in on something. Radio is a job that can be done from anywhere. There are multiple radio shows around the country where they have more than one host on the show, and they're in 2 different locations, and you never know the difference. I've done shows before from Phoenix, Arizona. Nobody knows the difference. Radio is one of the few jobs where you can do it from anywhere. But I came in during the pandemic. I come in here every single day because when I do the show from my workstation, I have better resources, all the computers, the televisions, all that stuff, and I can duplicate that at home. But I feel like, I'm hired by this company to do a job. I should actually report to work and interact with my fellow employees and learn about their lives and hear what's going on and commiserate with them. But the people who work for the state of Ohio, they're not only mad they have to go back to work, they're contending that they'll be less productive going back to work. Now, I've worked remotely a time or 10 in my life. Used to do shows from spring training. I've done some shows from home on days where it's a blizzard outside or ice on the roads or whatever. I've never been even close to as productive at home as I've been on location. Why? For one thing, I got the kitchen pantry right there. And then I got, other distractions right there. But these people are very, very mad. Here is a quote from one of them to WSYX, which says it has received many missives from people expressing their frustration and anger over the fact that DeWine is requiring them to go back to work on Monday. Here's a quote. This is actually a huge thing for our family, the wife of one impacted worker said. Working from home just made us a much tighter family because my husband was here. He was still working, but he didn't have to drive for hours every day. We're not spending $200 on gas every month. Well, I have good news for you, man. You won't be spending $200 on gas every month now because Donald Trump's back in the White House. But I don't believe that your husband is more productive at home because the reason you're tighter as a family is because he's interacting with you or he's playing with the kids or he's doing something other than his job, which is not an option for him if he's actually on site. She says, I realize most people are like, well, just go back to work. It's not that big of a deal. But I wouldn't wish that on anybody else. If you can do your job from home, why not? Because since the beginning of time up until like March 10th, 2020, it would have been absurd to say, hey, how about I work from home? How about I not come into the office? How about you pay me the same? Your employer would have looked at you like you had lost a screw. Okay? 44,000, it says here, state workers under the governor's authority were already fully in office. But 35% remain on either a hybrid or remote basis. Well, I'm tempted to do math in my head and figure out how many thousand that is, but I'm not going to try to hurt myself at this point in time. But 35% of the state workforce was working remotely. Here's a psychologist from University of Southern California, Dr. Meredith Wells Lepley, says all employers need to be patient with their employees and recognize the challenges they face. Is there a quote that could more aptly demonstrate the paradigm shift in where the power they tell you now resides, as opposed to where your entire work life the power resided? Like, your boss was always in charge, right? You take orders from your boss. Now, no, your boss takes orders from you. You got to be empathetic. You got to be patient. Here's what the Honorable Dr. Lepley from USC says. Employers need to realize that the office is a distracting, noisy place, and it will take their employees a while to really become effective again in that environment. So they should adjust their expectations in the initial weeks of this return to office process. I don't buy any of that. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't mean to be mean. I just think if you have a job, it's your employer's right to expect you to do the job well. It is your employer's right to expect you to be on site and do the job. And I get it. Maybe some employees have leverage over you, and somebody else will offer him a remote work possibility, and you may want to make a compromise. But by and large, I think more things get done. And the office environment is better if everybody is on site. Just my view. Now, Donald Trump was blocked in court yesterday by not one but two judges from implementing cutbacks in the federal workforce, which he has instituted as part of the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to look at multiple agencies. We're going to talk more about this in hour number 2. Here's what you need to know. One of the judges is based in San Francisco, appointed by Bill Clinton. Another judge, Maryland, also heavily blue state, appointed by Barack Obama. And they're basically telling Trump that he cannot furlough workers who were on probation. I'm sorry, do I have a misunderstanding of what probation is? If you're working under a probationary period, that is the time where you can be fired at the behest of your employer for any reason at all. Maybe they decide they don't need you. Maybe they decide you're not a fit for the organization. I mean, this is outrageous to me that the President of the United States, the head of the executive branch with Article 2 powers to supervise every federal agency in the executive branch, federal judges can stop him from doing what the founding fathers gave him the right to do?
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress. A mom. We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty, something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not. It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Find us at 989theanswer.com. Download our apps. Stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
The Senate remains in the spotlight in the debate over a continuing resolution to avoid a partial government shutdown at midnight tonight.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has announced he's ready to start the process of considering a Republican-led spending bill which passed the U.S. House earlier this week. Reversing his position to oppose the measure, Schumer now rationalizes that a shutdown would give a victory to President Donald Trump. In public pronouncements, the Democrats wanted to hold the line against the administration's cuts to government agencies, but with reports of their behind closed doors divisions, the party has few options. Yesterday, GOP Senate Majority Leader John Thune said it's time to fish or cut bait. George Williams reporting.
Also at townhall.com, millions in the path of an expected massive March storm. It's a sprawling system that may bring blizzards, tornadoes, fires, and flooding as it tracks across the Great Plains eastward. Moisture and heat from the abnormally warm Gulf could fuel heavy rainfall. That's raising concerns for flooding from the system.
Nice to have you with us for the first hour of the show. I'm going to end the live stream now on my social channels, but you can catch the second hour at brucehooley.com, and you can catch it, no, not at brucehooley.com. You can catch it at the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page, and you can catch it at the 989 The Answer Facebook page. So great audience today. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll be back. I think I'll be back on Monday. I got deep voice and a little sinus stuff going on, but I think I'll be back on Monday. Pretty sure I will. Until then, have a great weekend. God bless. Hope you go to church this Sunday. Hope you're inspired, and appreciate your time. Take care. Bye-bye.